Let me get in the mindset. Got to get the
Get,
vibes rolling in, you know.
gotta get in the zone.
Yeah, yeah. The
The
auto
auto
zone.
zone.
Oh, hey, yeah. Okay, well, with that, hello everyone, and welcome to the Making Time for the Boys podcast. I'm your host Zach, here with my co-host Evan.
What's up? It's making time with the boys. Got
Um,
it.
okay, Evan. Okay, you want to start a fight right in the listen. This isn't good for the kids. Okay,
Oh God,
the
no!
kids aren't going to take that one very well.
Think of the children.
Listen, this week has been an important week for one reason alone. What I'm about to read you, sent by Boston in the group chat that we have. I have no idea if he wants this shared with his name attached to it, and I'm not going to ask him. I'm just
Yeah, it's
going
a
to
bit
go
too
with it.
late.
And I'm going to read you this verbatim so you can hear it and just react naturally, okay?
Is it long?
It's not very long.
All
It's
right,
it's two text bubbles. So
all right, all right.
the first one is just the word guys.
Okay,
Yeah, yeah. Then
all
he
right.
said, I'm gonna laugh my way through saying this. I gotta keep composed.
All right.
I just had such a massive urge to shit. I got up and started walking to the bathroom and farted with each step.
That's it.
That's it.
God.
I don't know why. I don't know what it was, but I'm sitting there like, the TV's on, my
Yeah.
family's watching stuff, and then I just get that text and I'm dying.
That reminds me. That reminds me of one of my proudest jokes I've ever had in the group chat. It was when I sent the message, guys. I'm going to call the fire department. Like I'm going to call like a fire truck, and everyone got like really worried for a sec because like what the fuck's going on?
Right.
And I said, well, because I'm trying to remember exactly what I said. Oh yeah, I think I said because I just took a massive shit and my asshole's on fire. That's super proud.
Of course it is. Of course that's your proudest moment.
Nice.
God, so much of my range of jokes in the group chat is just me taking moments to shit on someone who said something dumb.
Yeah. Well,
But you know what? It's that attacking form of comedy works really well. So
yeah. Well, you know what they say, comedy can't like there's no comedy without like a loser, Like
exactly.
someone's got to be the butt of the joke. Get it? Because you're talking
Uh,
about
Man, you just I guess you ruined this whole segment of the podcast with that one joke. I guess we gotta can you imagine though, like how long do we think Boston was holding, like clenching them cheeks to produce that scenario?
I really don't want to imagine it, but I could probably say, well, sometimes it's not about how like did he I forget, did he say he was holding in for a long time?
No, he just said he just got a sudden urge for it
Yeah,
and
I was
then
about to
like
say
got up and walked and was
it
just
can sometimes
laying down the flatulence with every step.
it sometimes just kind of sneaks up on you. You just don't realize until it's like, oh, it's here. All right,
Okay, he added
it's
one more part to it. I forgot to tell you. I had to scroll
okay.
down a bit to make sure I got it all. He said, "Imagine this happening in school. Oh my god." And then
Oh God, yeah.
he's like he walks up to Mr. Pastor and says, "Mr. Pastor, I really need to use the bathroom." All I can think of is it's like the meme where I don't know if you've seen it, but it's like the Clone High Kennedy guy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, walks up and he's like, is something about his ass being fat, and then it like he turns around and it's just huge, and he like waddles off.
He does have like an abnormally thick ass.
Yeah,
It's really. Have you ever seen Clone High?
no, it's
Oh my God.
it's one of those shows. It's like it's on the list,
Right, but you've never actually gotten
right?
to it. It's pretty funny. It's pretty. It's had like a resurgence recently for some reason.
Do you think it was the memes? Did the memes happen because of the show's resurgence?
No, I really don't. I could even mark it down to like maybe even coincidence because I
Yeah,
don't even know how it started up again. But
I don't
yeah,
know.
here it is.
Yeah, it be what it be with that. I don't know. My list of shows is like insane right now because I want to watch The Man in the High Castle on Amazon.
Never heard of it.
It's basically about an alternate reality where the Nazis won World War II. So they end up in like invading the US with the help of Japan. And so you have this like 60s or 70s era US that's divided, half of it to Japan, half of it to Nazi Germany. And there's like this DMZ zone, like,
Oh yeah,
militarized zone, yeah, right in the middle of the nation. So
sounds interesting.
yeah, it's pretty highly reviewed, and I've watched a little bit of it before, so I know it's going to be good quality when I eventually pick it up. But
Right. Has there been how many seasons are there? Has it been going on for a long time?
I think there's four. It's over now. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
So
that's actually kind of the best time to, get into a show
right,
when it's
yeah,
like already over. You know, we
but
gotta we gotta watch Breaking Bad together.
yeah.
You don't sound interested.
Well, it's because, and I'm gonna get hate for this. I
It's
can just hear it
okay.
now.
I think I know,
But
but go ahead.
every time I've tried watching Breaking Bad, because I've done it 3 or 4 different times now, tried to watch
Oh,
Breaking
you've
Bad.
tried already.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
And I'll watch through season 1 and I'm like, this is like solid, and I'm sure it's gonna get better. But like when season 2 starts, I'm just gonna be like, I'm just gonna start something else.
Damn, dude. Just one of
Yeah,
those things.
I don't I don't know what it is, because like I mean, the acting in it is phenomenal. The
Yeah.
cinematography is really
Do
great.
you
The
do
the
you know
narrative's good.
do you know anything about the story? Like anything after like season one? Like if you get spoiled on anything? Is that kind of
I
like why?
know some stuff about Gus, and
Uh,
that's about it.
that's about it.
Yeah.
Well, dude, that's why we gotta watch it together, because then I'll keep you engaged.
Yeah. I mean, you're probably right. You're probably right.
Here's what we need to do. Here's what we need to do. We watch it together, and then we maybe bring in. We'll bring in Boston. We'll also throw him in there, because even if we're not entertained, I think he'll keep us entertained enough to at
Yeah.
least get through. Has he seen Breaking Bad? Do we know that?
I think so. I'm pretty sure he's finished it.
Ah, sick. Well, we'll figure something out. I want you to experience it. At least try again
Yeah.
with me. We'll see.
The most recent time I was the first time I'd made it actually all the way through season 1 into
Damn.
season 2. So, and I still put it
Awesome.
down.
God damn, man.
And
Well,
now,
because it doesn't really start getting. I don't want to say it doesn't start getting good until season 3, because that's not true. But it really does start. The plot starts really fucking moving
right,
once you
right.
really get past those first 2 seasons.
And I don't want to say that it's like too slow for me, because it's not really slow in season 1. There's like a lot of stuff that does happen.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't know. Maybe I don't know. There's really not a single thing I can point to that's like this is a problem. For
Right.
some reason I just lose interest at some point.
Like that happens. I've noticed that happens sometimes with you when it comes to just like reading or just getting into something. You just kind of lose interest. It's not like you
Yeah.
hate it, but you just kind of get bored.
I don't know. I need something to like really hook me.
It's like,
And
go on.
I don't know. It's you would think that I would have struggled with Game of Thrones, because Game of Thrones doesn't really hook you. I think truly hook you until the very end of season 1.
Yeah, that's true.
But maybe it was because of um, the how it hooks you at the end of season 1 that kept me going.
Right, because you don't expect it. It's like such a big twist. You kind of want to keep going.
Right.
And then after that, you just kind of get so endeared to the characters that you just start sticking around through thick and thin,
Right.
for better or worse.
Well, see, now I'm not even like it's not even like I can say, "Oh, I'm," but it's okay because I'm watching this show. I'm literally watching this show called Evil, which is like some
That sounds
CBS
that sounds
X
shitty.
Files knockoff.
Yeah, evil.
Yeah, because what it's about is this Catholic priest in training who um who basically like investigates for the Catholic Church into like if people need exorcisms and things like that.
Hmm.
And like the casting is kind of what made me click on it in the first place because it has the guy who played Luke Cage, Mike Coulter, I believe is his name,
No.
and it also has the girl who played the Man in Black's daughter from season 2 of Westworld.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I was just kind of like, yeah, I like both of those
I
like
was
that actor and actress.
I was about to say that's kind of a downgrade, but considering how shit Westworld became, I was gonna say that kind of
Well,
not again.
it's not like I could go and watch Westworld season 3 because then I'd just be sad. I feel like at some point I have to try and finish it, at least finish season 3.
Oh God, I don't know if I could. I don't know if I could do that.
I feel like here's the thing. I feel like I could do it if we got the crew together and it was like,
Yeah,
it was me, you, and Aaron sitting down watching.
it probably could, but it's so
We
fucking
could,
bad.
yeah.
I fucking hate it. Did we watch the first? We watched the first like couple episodes together, right? Or did Aaron
Yeah,
show
yeah,
up for that one?
we got through the first. Well, okay, was the Maeve episode 2 or 3?
Ah, fuck, I don't know.
Okay,
Uh,
we for sure all watched the first episode together, and then I think for the second episode, Aaron couldn't come, but you were able to,
right.
and that's when we were like, well, COVID's kind of put an X on this
Um,
for the rest of the
was
season.
that when COVID started?
Yeah, yeah,
What the
because
fuck?
we had all just gotten we had all been brought home from college,
Oh, I guess you're right.
and we
God, it
were
feels like a century
I
ago, man.
know. Well, we were all like, "Oh, this is going to be great because we can just do a bunch of stuff together because COVID isn't even near us." And then all of a
Yeah.
sudden, it was.
Damn it, dude, I missed that.
Yeah, yeah, I miss it too. I miss just being able to do things with the boys.
Right, right. Well, I don't know, man. Even if I think we probably could do it if we were out together, but that Maeve episode literally made me fucking brain dead. Like, I felt like nothing after that. That was so shit. God. At least with
Hey,
Game of Thrones, we only had like 3 episodes, and then it was
yeah,
over.
yeah. At
And it
least
was
it was a
funny,
shortened
honestly.
season. Yeah, and you know what? It kept giving us little tidbits like, "Oh, but there's hope because of this."
Right. Well,
You
I at
know,
least the thing about Game of Thrones is that it was so bad that it was honestly comedic. That because like you just because it wasn't just bad choices. Westworld, it's just like bad choices. And just
right,
like God, it's just a fucking slog. With Game of Thrones, it was like literally the worst choices you could possibly make
right.
in the story, and it made it so fucking hilarious. I mean, God damn it, man.
The I think the biggest thing to me, and spoilers for anyone who hasn't seen season 8, but listen, if you're watching Game of Thrones at this point, maybe just stop after you finish season 6. Maybe just be like, you know
I'd,
what, this is like I'm fine now.
I'd say stop after you finish season 4. Leave Stannis some dignity.
um, but I think when you get to the actual long night battle where there's the camera problems. For some reason, it's so insanely dark. And I think the only reason it didn't bother us much the night we watched it was because we were in a pitch black room.
Yeah, we had like the environment
Yeah.
suited for it.
But also, more people should have died. A lot more main characters
Well,
should
that
have
was
died
the
in that.
retarded thing about the whole battle was that they constantly did that thing where the whites would just gang up on this one character and like it'd
Right.
show like 5 of them on the character, then it'd cut away quickly and then cut back and then guess what? The character's fine.
Like,
Just in time for another swarm of whites to come at them.
how did Sam survive?
I know.
Sam entirely should have been destroyed by the time they acted. By the time Arya did her magician's trick and
Dude, everyone should
night
have been
crawled her
fucking
way.
dead. I mean, Jesus, that was so fucking like there's so much wrong with that. I honestly think people go too easy on that episode because there's so much fucking wrong.
Right.
Dude, like their fucking plan didn't even make any goddamn sense.
Mm.
Like I know no one probably cares about that but me because like okay, they put their fucking trebuchets outside the fucking castle for some goddamn reason. Instead of hiding in the castle, they're like, here's what we're gonna do. Let's fucking all run outside and charge at that the army of undead that outnumber us fucking 10 to 1. Yeah, that's a great idea. What the fuck was that all? What?
And then you also have to add in the fact that anyone who dies immediately becomes part of the army of the dead.
Exactly. So you like honestly, the game plan should be just like take your fucking trebuchets inside the castle, take everyone else inside the castle, and just huddle up.
Right.
Just launch shit at them, and then use your fucking two dragons you got as basically like the fucking Vietnam bombers, and just do strafing runs.
Yeah.
Like that's all you need to fucking do. You win. They're just mindless fucking zombies. They can't do much. I mean,
I
shit.
think the biggest disappointment to me though was like you build up the White Walkers and the Night King so much, and then literally his like the Night King's first big moment, like truly big moment, he just immediately dies.
Right.
You
Well, it
can't
didn't even.
you can't set up this character as the main villain of the whole show and then be like, actually, hey, we subverted your expectations. It's Cersei.
I know. Well, and the way he died wasn't even that satisfying. Because, like, I don't. If you're gonna maybe say, like, well, he's such, like, a powerful foe, fighting him one on one is just not gonna work. It's like, all right, but then at least make his death satisfying. Like, make it
Right.
make sense. Like, Arya literally just jumped out of the ether to kill the son of a bitch. Like, what? He didn't even get outsmarted. She
Right.
just teleported. Like that's what I would have at least wanted. Like if you don't want to do the whole big like battle thing, at least make it to where you've outsmarted him
Right.
and that beats him. Nope.
They could have also just shown us her actually somehow sneaking through all these White Walkers.
It would
Like
at least
some
I
good
wouldn't
reason for it.
I wouldn't buy it then to just sneak through a fucking
I mean, I
crowd.
agree 100%, but I think it's worse to just be like,
No,
nah, we're just gonna
definitely.
let you infer that she did it.
It's definitely worse. No, everything about that was just terrible. And then Theon's death was fucking cancerous as well. He's just like, he has that one little good moment
You
with
were a
Bran.
good
He's like,
man, Theon.
"You're a good man, Theon. Now die so I can take the Iron Throne." He's like, all right. He takes his fucking stick, runs at the fucking Night King, and dies immediately. It's like, what an unsatisfying death.
Yeah,
Thanks.
I mean, wow.
Fucking shit.
Theon just, I I didn't like Theon, and I don't show the same sympathy towards him um, that I think people come to show. But
Mhm.
he really did. I mean, I don't think he deserved to be treated how he got at the very end.
Well, I mean, a lot of people treated Theon like shit, but the biggest disrespect came from the writers themselves, I feel
Right.
like, at the very end. It's like it felt like it kind of undermined his entire journey to just have him end like that in the dumbest way possible.
Yeah. But a wise man once said, "Who has a better story than Bran the Broken?" And
Fuck.
that's how we got the
The
the other best
fucking
line. The other
ah,
best line, which is, "Why do you think I came all this way?
fuck that guy.
Why do you
Like,
think I came all this
and I
way?"
love this like the line that they use. Who has a better story than Bran the Broken? Because like
Everyone.
exactly, you
Yeah.
think like literally everybody at the meeting, fucking Edmure, fucking Sansa's uncle has a
Right.
better goddamn story than Bran the Broken.
Well, you can, and you know this as a fact because I've talked about it extensively. Anyone can ask me what is the worst part of Game of Thrones other than season 8, and I will consistently tell you it's when you have to trek with Bran.
Yeah, he has the worst fucking story. Well, and you can tell because he's barely in the later seasons.
Right.
They just kind of put him north.
Well, there's a whole season where he's not in it.
Exactly. They basically just do their due diligence where they just drag him north. Then they have his two friends die and leave or whatever the fuck. And then he just stays there. And then eventually when the end of it's like, oh, the series is ending. We got to get him back.
Gotta get him home.
Yeah, so then he's like, all right, Mira, take me home. He's like, all right, cool. And they go home, and that's it. That's his fucking
Also,
story.
listen, the writers also did a huge disgrace to Jamie's character.
Oh my god, they fucked him up so.
I mean, come on, you can't literally have this man finally bed the blonde giant woman. I can't think of her name right now. But you can't have him do that and then be like, nah, you know what, he's like, this is supposed to mark kind of
Yeah.
that final shift for him, but no, he's heading back.
Well, he actually loved Cersei the entire time.
Yeah, I mean, I get that, but like,
He's
I
actually
don't
a
know,
shitty person underneath all that the entire time. We just never.
the
We
things
just
he
fools.
does for love.
Yeah, you just never knew.
I think the only character who got the proper ending in season 8 was the Hound.
You think so?
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, I guess he did, but
he's the only one I can think of that when season 8 ended, I was like, that I'm okay with how that storyline concluded. Like, I'm happy with that.
yeah. I mean, I guess you're right. I felt like I was never too into like I like the Hound. I'm not gonna say I didn't, but I wouldn't have chosen him. Is what I'm saying.
Right.
To have the
Yeah.
satisfying, like out of all the characters to have the ending that makes the most sense, for it to be the fucking Hound feels just like
It feels wrong. I would 100% agree with that. I mean, I don't know. For me, the worst part is that, I mean, I'm such a fan of Tyrion. I love everything about Tyrion's character.
they shit on Tyrion so much.
Yeah,
He becomes a
and
fucking dunce.
that's why it's so insane. Like, full props to Peter Dinklage to have won multiple, I think it was Emmys for his performance as Tyrion, and a lot of those came from the later seasons while playing Tyrion. Because no matter how dumb they made Tyrion, Peter Dinklage played him really compellingly.
Yeah, played
So
the shit out of him. I'm still hoping that one day, on his fucking deathbed, George Martin's gonna finally finish that sixth book, and we can finally get the scene because Tyrion was just on the cusp of meeting Daenerys in the
mhm,
final book. I was really disappointed that I never actually got, because I really wanted to see him just head into that city and just start tearing shit up.
right,
Because Daenerys had that whole stint where she was like, the city was fucked and
yeah.
she couldn't do anything. I was just fucking waiting for the moment for Tyrion to just stroll in, and he's like, "All right, bitches, I'm about to fuck shit up," and he just
Well,
fixes everything.
I'm excited for when he does that so that I can pick up reading the books again, because
Right?
Tyrion is going to be a different character than what I
Yeah.
saw in the show. Because the show, I mean, it's sad that I already know this, but I mean, they left out a big, um, like, core part of his character
Yeah.
in terms of what Tyrion actually knows.
About his wife.
Yeah.
Like that was fucked. Like that was such a huge deal. I mean, Jesus.
It's sad to reminisce on Game of Thrones because
Yeah.
we had got together and I had shepherded you boys through 7 seasons and like 10 weekends, and
Yeah. The
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 hype was an all-time high.
the journey was fun.
Yeah.
Uh, the journey was certainly fun. I'll say that. And you know what? The hype was pretty real. Came in,
Yeah.
watched it, and those first two episodes like weren't terrible. They were they were just kind of boring.
Yeah, well, and you know what? I think going into that third episode, we all collectively felt like as long as this third episode is the payoff, then those first 2 episodes are like good episodes.
And then the third episode came, and I just felt like something was wrong.
Right.
It was just like this feels dumb. And then it all kind of just came together when John started screaming at the dragon.
Yeah.
Oh,
what a perfect way to fight a dragon.
I know.
I think he thought he was in Skyrim, not Game of Thrones.
Yeah. I mean, Jesus.
Also, was there any good reason as to why uh Benioff and Weiss decided they needed to shoehorn in an Arya Stark sex scene for us?
Oh God, I forgot about that. That totally happened.
Because what I was about to bring up was that I have a lot of respect for episode 2 because it's that quiet moment before battle, and we get like Podrick singing and everyone just kind of coming to terms with what's about to happen to them. But then we get hit with the little girl sex scene.
I know.
I'm not a fan, and I mean, I get it. Arya's not like young, and Macy Williams isn't young anymore, but it's wrong in the context that we literally watched this girl grow up.
Right, and she still looks like a child.
Yeah.
She just she does not look her age at all. I like to think that after the season 8 script came out, no one on the set could really look at Benioff and Weiss the same way.
Right.
They just gave him weird glances, like, all
I
right.
mean, it's impressive to me that all these stars, in hindsight, have stayed positive about season 8 for the most part.
Yeah,
Because you watch videos of them reading the scripts and like talking about the season before it comes out, they all seem like they know that they're
yeah.
they're accepting, especially Varys's actor.
Oh yeah.
Like he looked disgusted when he finished reading the script because there's video of him where he just like kind of throws it down and laughs to
Yeah,
himself.
I've seen it because that was a terrible way for him to die. So
Yeah.
the fucking this huge character who got really diminished in his role as the
Right.
seasons went on,
Well,
and then dies in the dumbest way possible.
he's also, I mean, arguably, there's an argument to be made that Varys is the smartest character on the show.
Oh yeah.
When you're looking at the smartest characters, you have Varys, you have Tyrion. Um, I guess that's, in my mind, the two smartest people on the
Littlefinger?
land. Yeah, okay, yeah, you're right. Peter Baelish is up
Because
there.
those are the three guys who like really just control everything
Right.
behind the scenes.
Listen, Littlefinger's death was awful too.
Yeah, he
I
was.
mean, come on. Look, like I get this sense of like ironic justice of him being outsmarted, but I don't think he's getting outsmarted by Sansa and Arya like that.
Well, it barely felt like he was outsmarted, because it was just Bran just kind of told them what happened, and that's that's kind of that's all. It's like, I guess we'll just kill him now.
Yeah.
Great plan.
Though I've also noticed from the little bit I have read of the books and from what I know that like Littlefinger isn't exactly like that in the books how he is in the show either.
Uh, Probably not.
Because I think you get the sense in the show that Littlefinger, like people aren't trusting of him, but when you read the books, it's like people are sometimes too trusting of Littlefinger, which
Oh
is how
yeah.
he kind of
Well,
maneuvers his way into all these
yeah.
situations.
Well, that's the thing about Littlefinger is that he's both smart and also he's got charisma.
Yeah,
So
he has the right amount of charm.
exactly. Now, I think the moment, because last we left off with Littlefinger in the books, he actually, that chick in the veil?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
Catelyn's sister.
yeah. He's chilling up there, right? Still in the books,
Mhm.
and a lot of people in the veil don't fucking like him. But even then, actually, now that I think about it, he's actually able to charm quite a few people, even after killing that chick.
Right.
Like, so yeah, he's got the fucking moves. He's got the moves. He even fucking tricks Sansa into trusting him
Right.
because he's just kind of got that fucking vibe.
He would be really good at being the imposter among us. He would just persuade everyone.
But once you know, it'd be sort of that thing where like every round it's just like Littlefinger sus.
Yeah. It's like we can't prove anything, but every time he was walking around, the progress bar went up. So I mean,
Yeah,
you know,
exactly. It's just like that constantly suspicious person.
right. God, HBO just kind of as a network, I they've disappointed me too much now because they've hit us with two back to back with Westworld and Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
That's why like they're making a series based off of The Stand by Stephen King,
Hmm.
which is like one of his biggest novels ever. Um, and funny enough, it's about a pandemic that wipes out the most of the human race. So
That's funny.
topical for the times. But there's a combination of things there that makes me not want to touch it because one, it's an HBO show, and two, it's a Stephen King adaptation.
Mm. And those are not the best combo.
Right.
I wouldn't touch it just in the fact that it's an HBO show, to be quite honest. They've kind of shit.
Right. Well, I kind of want to watch Watchmen. That's like That might be a sin in its own right.
I
But
I don't. From what I've seen, it doesn't really interest me all that much.
yeah.
Uh, I'd be interested to see how you feel about it. I might even be willing to watch it with you just to see it because I read the original
Hmm.
Watchmen comic,
Yeah.
and I liked that quite a bit. I thought it was a really solid deconstruction of the whole superhero genre, and I think one of the
Hmm.
first things that did that, if
I
I'm
think you're
correct.
right. Yeah. What I want to watch before I watch those, I want to see Zack Snyder's Watchmen movie.
Yeah, I've heard that's good. I haven't seen that one either.
I've heard, I mean, I think the big thing about Zack Snyder as a director is that I think the cinematography is what comes first to him. And kind of the good thing about adapting a comic book is that, a comic book is already set up in panels of artwork. So he's just doing his job to recreate panels shot for shot.
Yeah,
And that definitely makes his job easier. And that's a complaint people had, was that it's just like it's not necessarily too much new, and there's a lot that happens in the Watchmen comic.
definitely more than that could
So,
probably be fit into a movie.
well, that's why it's super long. I think because there's two cuts of it. There's the director's cut and the theatrical cut.
Yeah.
So, do
No,
do you feel like you have hope for his Justice League cut?
honestly, not really.
Yeah.
Everything Zack Snyder's made has been fucking sham and a disappointment, so I'm not sure why this would be any different. Just because it's the fucking oh my god, it's the fucking director's cut. Whatever, man.
Right. Well, you know how it's being done now, right? Do you?
It's like a TV show sort of thing.
Yeah, he's cutting it in a way to where it'll be like 4 or 5 installments, and he's actually currently filming new material for it.
Yeah, fair.
Because I think Ben Affleck, Henry Cavill, and Gal Gadot have all signed on to come film new scenes for him, or have been confirmed they're filming new scenes. So Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman there, and then also, and this is the part that's got me wondering. I believe Jared Leto, his Joker, is
Yeah.
has been seen on set filming
Mm.
stuff, and
So now we know it's gonna be shit.
yeah, now we have all of our ducks are in a row, and we know it's going to be bad. So
Oh god. The only listen, the two things he needs to do to make me give this an actual shot. He needs to get rid of Jared Leto. Just get him the fuck out of
keep
there.
him away.
And he needs to change the actor for the Flash. Not a
Yeah,
huge fan of him.
I I couldn't get into him either.
Yeah. Just
Because that's not how Flash is.
yeah, we came across as like this nerdy, kind of like the Tom Holland Peter Parker type of guy.
Right? Yeah.
It didn't work for me. He was the way he did it really wasn't doing anything for me. It made him seem
Right.
kind of annoying.
Well, the Flash, especially because he is I forget, is he Wally West or is he Barry
I
Allen?
think they're
I
doing
think
the
he's
Barry Allen.
well, and honestly, it doesn't matter. Both Flashes are kind of charismatic and quippy,
Well, yeah, I was
and
gonna say they're both kind of similar. Though Wally
right,
West, I think, is like just a bit more stupid.
yeah,
Uh, but yeah, I mean, just you need to make him like kind of like this confident sort of funny guy.
right,
They
right.
made him more like fucking Poindexter Peter Parker.
Yeah,
It really wasn't. It didn't work. And with especially with the way the guy acted it really wasn't doing a lot for me.
I don't care that much for the CW Flash show, but I do think Grant Gustin, who plays the Flash for the CW, it makes a good Barry Allen.
Can we watch the CW Batwoman,
Oh my God, Evan.
please?
Oh my God. Listen,
It's
if we're gonna sit down and watch the CW shows, and you're gonna torture me with that, then we're gonna watch them all. We're gonna sit down
oh
and
god, what? They don't need to do
nope,
that.
nope. This is what happens.
Oh my god, fucking hell! Why would you want to watch all of them? You really want to
You
watch
you
Arrow?
mean you don't want? Okay, listen. There was a time in my life where I liked Darrow.
I
It's
actually do
not
too.
necessarily the proudest time. And you know what? I will defend like the first two seasons of Arrow.
Well, because the first two seasons were kind of uncomplicated, and it was a
Right.
bit. It was simple. It was just Oliver Queen and his buddy Diggle. Oh my god, I love
Yeah.
that fucking name. That's so great, Diggle. Uh, just fighting crime and him
Yeah.
killing people. He was like, damn, what a badass.
And you know, I think that before the CW expanded into their larger like multiverse thing and like
Yeah,
superhero verse, that the storylines didn't get so muddled.
right. Well, it was actually a half decent show. It was a good.
Right.
I think it was a decent take on the whole era thing. It was obviously CW'd because it did the whole
Yeah.
fucking villain of the week sort of shtick.
It did what Supernatural started and specialized, which is
Yeah.
we're just gonna give you the like monster of the week. Here we go, storyline of the week.
Though that does work better just with the nature of Supernatural. That's
Right.
ending. It's ending
Yeah,
after
they're
this.
on their last season. I heard.
They have two more. Well, they have one episode left. Actually, just they're both being shown on the same night.
That's crazy. It's crazy because it's like 14 or 15 seasons.
Yeah,
I don't know.
and I think because I can't. My mom is a huge
Is she still a
Supernatural
huge
freak.
fan?
Oh yeah, she never
Wow.
stopped, and so I have to hear about it every time an episode comes out.
That's some
Uh,
impressive dedication to a show that's definitely not good anymore.
yeah, she's dedicated though, but apparently everyone's debating whether they made Castiel gay or not. Remember Castiel, right?
Yeah, yeah, the angel and
Yeah,
oh,
because his
are they just gonna buy into what Supernatural fans, specifically
well,
white teenage girl Supernatural fans want and
well
just have
that's the big debate
Castiel?
because
Oh my god.
he had his last line. I believe it's his last line where he had to do some fucking stupid bullshit in order to save Dean. But so he looks at Dean before he like quote unquote dies because death doesn't have any fucking meaning in the show.
Right.
And he's like, Dean, in order to save you and do the fucking thing, I have to admit what made me the happiest in my life. And it's blah 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 bullshit. Dean, I love you. And then you know, he dies.
Now this is where you get your fan fiction writers who take that scene and you cut out whatever Cass said except for the one thing that made me happy in life, and then it
Right.
just goes like that Winchester cock, and then drops out.
Winchester D.
Now, but what would be hilarious is if he says that and then looks at Sam and
Oh
dips, and then
shit.
everyone's like, "What? Well, but all the signs were there for him and Dean."
But yeah, so that's a thing going on.
That's I gotta say, really is impressive that your mom's still like trucking
Oh
along
yeah.
with that.
Oh yeah.
Because I would say there was a time where I was the most dedicated Doctor Who fan in existence, and now I'm here just like, oh, they're doing another season, really? They're
When
still
did it
doing this stuff.
stop? Like what was like the time it stopped for you?
It's gonna sound bad.
Yeah,
It's
go
gonna
ahead.
make me sound like I'm a
You're a
sexist
fucking
pig.
sex.
Yeah.
I know what you're gonna say.
And it's literally Peter Capaldi regenerates. I watched the first episode with Jodie Whittaker, and before anyone like goes to the comments and they're like, Zach is a sexist.
Don't
Um,
worry, we don't get comments.
I know you're right. Um, we don't get that kind of attention.
Who the fuck do you think we are? A successful YouTube channel?
No, listen, Evan, we're gonna get comments now
All right.
because it's gonna be like Boston, like,
Well,
yeah,
what's gonna happen is I'm gonna take a clip of you saying, you dropped off when the doctor generated into a chick, and I'm gonna like retweet that in
yeah,
a bunch of
with
fucking
the
feminist groups.
hashtag cancel Zach or
Right,
Zach is
it's
over
like,
party or
oh my god, this fucking bigot.
yeah. But as like I was saying, I 100% am all for Jodie Whittaker's Doctor. You know why? Because she's basically just Matt Smith.
That's why I hate her.
Yeah. And I'm a big fan of Matt Smith's Doctor, so I'm all
Right.
for her like, oh, I'm quirky and alien like
Yeah.
and like I'm like 100%. This is what made me buy into Doctor Who in the first place.
Right.
But what I don't like, and here we go again with like, bring me into the cancel territory, kids. I
Is
don't
that
want.
she's only a B cup when she should have been like at least a D.
I
That's what you're saying.
mean, if she's fitting through the TARDIS doors, there's a problem. That's what we're saying.
God damn. I wasn't expecting you to actually run with that.
Listen, it's like volleyball. You set me up for a spike, and I got to spike it down.
God damn, dude. All
You
right.
know, but
What was
no,
the?
it's just that I don't want my show to be preachy.
Yeah,
You know,
they got a
I
huge
don't want to have to
issue with
sit
that.
through, and it's like I don't have a care. I don't have a care. That was a weird thing to say. I
Yep.
don't care if a show has a message it's pushing or if it has some like greater
Theme.
moral that you take away from watching it. Like that doesn't bother me.
Well, Doctor Who's had that fucking constantly throughout each
Right.
one. It's
Yeah.
just the Jodie Whittaker run was written by like a man with the brain of a 5-year-old, and he can't help but just say it to you because he thinks
Right.
everyone's a fucking idiot.
And also this man with the 5-year-old brain somehow produced Broadchurch seasons 1 and
I
3.
know. What the fuck? It's
How can you
insane to
make
me.
something so good
That's
and
fucking
then
crazy.
I mean, literally, especially when you look at his first season with Doctor Who, like Jodie's first season, everyone should love her, and he's like, I'm not going to have an overarching story. We're just going to
Oh my
embrace
god.
the Monster of the Week stuff. And then when he does enact an overarching story, he's like, I'm just going to disrespect classic Who.
Yep, infinite regenerations, baby.
Um,
Fuck that. I hate it.
God.
I fucking hate it so much.
But you know, the episode I think that bothers me, and it got a lot of positive attention, and I haven't seen the episode, so maybe it's wrong of me to say something. But do we really need an episode of Doctor Who where she travels back to like see Rosa
Oh
Parks?
my god. Well, it just feels so pandering,
Right.
man. Like,
It's
oh
literally
my
like
god.
see we respect you.
If they were gonna do it,
See?
I'd at least like them to do it with maybe, I don't know, Martin Luther King.
Yeah. And
You
I
know,
mean,
something.
I there's part of me that's like they chose a an important female activist in history because
Right,
there's a female doctor, but that's
right,
honestly that's part of the problem is that the pandering became because we're like this season's all about preaching
right.
like
Well,
this female empowerment
the
thing.
thing about the Martin Luther, you could do Martin Luther King because at least, you know, it would make more sense if he was like in danger or some shit.
Right.
Because like he was like the leader of the whole fucking movement. I don't know. He'd probably get involved with some. Who the fuck's going after Rosa Parks?
You know, an interesting thing they could have done with Martin Luther King is, you know, Martin Luther King dies. You know,
Yeah,
he gets
yeah,
murdered,
yeah.
and
That's
it's
the
like
thing.
the doctor has to come to terms with the fact that there's this important person that she can't save that like
That
she greatly respects and that did so
yeah.
much for the
And
U.S.
you know, that's like you could probably say that's like even like a trite because they do it so often. They did it with the Pompeii
Right.
episode, but like it's still a good. It's still a good fucking what's the word I'm looking for?
Right. Well,
Storyline.
it's why The Water of Mars is one of David Tennant's
Oh
best
yeah,
episodes because he breaks that rule. And he
exactly.
sees that because he breaks that rules, there's pretty dire consequences.
I'll come back to Doctor Who when they've got a doctor who's just an actual fucking Chad, like David Tennant was.
You
Let's
know,
bring that guy
I'll come
back.
back to Doctor Who when the storytelling is what it should be. When it's respectful of what's come before it
Honestly,
while uh embracing new things as well.
it's
Because
so
you know,
going.
there's a lot that Doctor Who can do to push narratives and morals and agendas if they want to without shoving it down our throats, you
And
know?
also like destroying the fucking
Right.
story. Because
Because
like that what was the the one where they went to what was it called? It's the one where they went to a resort, but like everything outside the resort is fucked up and destroyed. And it turns out there was a disease, and then the twist is like, oh, it was Earth.
right, I know what you're talking about. I
And get
because I haven't seen that season, you know.
right. And at the end of the episode, they leave and they're like, the Earth is going to be destroyed. And she's like, no, don't worry. That's just a possible future. It's
Right.
something that could happen. It's like, that's not how it works. And she's like, we just have to take care of the environment and stop climate change. I'm like, fuck off,
Right.
Jesus.
Well, you look at like another episode that preaches this like, the fate of the earth is up to humanity kind of
Right.
thing. And you look at there's an episode for Peter's run in his final season where or no, it's not his final season, it's his first actually. I'm mixing up my moments where him and Clara or Clara, however you say want to pronounce her name, go to the future where there's like something wrong with the moon, and they go there and they investigate it. What they find out is that the moon is an egg.
Alive. Figured.
Yeah, it's an egg that's hatching, and obviously if the moon is gone, then like Earth's
And
time is done
wait, you
because the
said
oceans.
the moon is an egg.
Yeah, an
That
egg
really just
for
hit me. That's fucking retarded.
yeah, I
Okay,
mean,
go on.
it's an egg for like a space creature, space dragon type thing.
Okay. All
Um,
right.
and but the important thing is basically the climax moment of the episode is Clara's like, "Well, Doctor, you have to solve this," and he's like, "Nope. Listen, I can't muddle with Earth's history. This has to be a human choice because I
What?
can't get involved in the timelines. Like, you guys have
Wait,
to decide what you're doing with the moon."
I thought the Earth was supposed to. What about the third great and bountiful human empire shit? You saying there? What?
Well, that's a different kind of thing that happens with the Doctor because he thought he was setting things back how they should be because they'd been changed by another alien influence when you look at that
Mm-hmm.
Ninth Doctor storyline. But here the Doctor has ended up um by accident being like wrong place, wrong time sort of thing to where they like in a time of humanity's choice and he's like, no, you have to make this decision because if I make the decision, then I've muddled with history. You
I'm not
know.
sure if I get that because like you could apply that sort of fucking thing to literally anything when the Earth is in danger, like when the Daleks attack. Whatever. I'm not here to shit on the fucking.
Well, the main difference is just the fact that
It's
here
an egg.
it's not an alien invading. It's something that like the established idea would be the moon has always been an egg. You know. So that's just like
I
natural
don't
history.
know, but whatever.
I mean,
I
we
get
can
what you're saying.
critique the finer details of it
Right,
at
right.
any
Oh, because
time.
if we start, we'll start fucking
Yeah,
talking about this all night.
but the bigger idea here is that you can do it with something as simple as just the Doctor being like, nope, this is like humanity sometimes has to make choices, and
Yeah.
instead you get a 5 minute monologue.
Right. Well, it's the thing is like it's how the message is delivered, which is super important.
Right.
It's not a good feeling when it feels like your intelligence is being essentially mocked by the
Right.
writer.
Well, we're not watching Doctor Who to be lectured.
Right.
You know.
And it's like say like, oh, but children watch Doctor Who, and like you know what? I would think that's even a fucking insult to child's intelligence.
Yeah.
Like fucking hell.
Well, I mean, it's you look at like any cartoon in existence, and like if you show someone stealing like candy from a baby and the baby cries, a kid will say that was wrong. But you know
Right.
what? If you put someone on the TV who instead is just going to tell you for 5 minutes that stealing candy from a baby is wrong, that kid's just going to turn the TV off.
Exactly. Exactly. So
So,
yeah, fuck Doctor Who. I hate Doctor Who now.
all my homies hate Doctor Who.
No, I'm still watching. So I've had to drop off recently, but I'm still trying to get through the William Hartnell years.
Yeah, still checking through Classic Who.
Yeah, I'm still trekking through it. I'm still
Classic Who's a fun romp. I've
yeah.
watched quite a fair amount. I don't have access to the wide array of episodes like you do, but I have done my due diligence because there was a time where Amazon had
Oh yeah.
like a whole collection of
Well,
Classic Who for Prime.
that was back in the glory days when there weren't 15 different streaming services and
Right.
you could actually like fucking watch Doctor Who on Netflix
Mm.
even.
And
What a
that's
time.
why I gotta say, I think when it comes to Classic Who, my favorite doctors are probably either Patrick Troughton, who's the second Doctor, or
Mhm.
Peter Davison, the fifth.
Really, I was expecting you to say Tom Baker
No.
for one of
See,
them.
that's the thing. I mean, classic who Tom Baker is truly, and I won't dispute this, the epitome of like what the doctor. It's like when you look at the NFL and you say Tom Brady's the GOAT. Like,
Mhm.
okay, like objectively you're probably right. But I mean, come on, my favorite quarterback is Peyton Manning. That will never change.
Yeah.
So in that same respect, I mean, Tom Baker has that elite status
Right.
in the same way that David Tennant has that elite status.
But
But
I feel like as I go through it, I think my favorites are gonna probably be
mm,
one of them. No one's gonna agree with me on this one, but one of them is gonna be William Hartnell. For no other reason, but because when I watch his episodes, I really get the feeling everyone on set's having just a fantastic time.
right,
And that kind of just makes me happy. It's like this is like a simpler time when
yeah,
everyone's just having such a fucking grand old time with this. I can't help but like it. I can't help
yeah,
but have fun with it. Just like goddamn. And it's also interesting watching them because in those formative years as they develop the Doctor's character and sort of figure out how you actually write a Doctor Who episode because that's when they're really trying to figure it out, and that's
right.
really interesting to me.
And those were really the glory days of science fiction as a whole, because
Yeah,
that's when you're truly starting to broaden the horizons of what science fiction can be. Because before that time of television, you have these audio dramas that are going
right.
on the radio with like War of the Worlds and stuff like that.
Yeah,
And then you finally get this chance to put something on the big screen that is sci-fi related, and you get stuff like Doctor Who and Star Trek.
yeah.
And
It's like brilliant.
yeah, and I think you'll come to really like Patrick Troughton as well,
Oh,
because
I'm
even
sure.
though I think what you'll like most about his run is the companions.
Oh, probably. I've heard he's got some pretty good companions.
He probably has the best companion in Doctor Who history.
But I'm thinking, other than William Hartnell, from what I've seen, I'm probably really gonna like
Mm,
John Pertwee. He
yeah.
just he just seems like a pretty great doctor
Well,
all around.
he's the fighter. Literally does like engages in fisticuffs from
That's
time to
awesome.
time.
That's
So
fucking. Yo, Keith sounds like the Chad. I think
yeah.
I'll like him. He sounds like the fucking goat.
You also get pretty constant Lethbridge Stewart in when that comes around, so that's a big deal.
Hell yeah. So yeah, I'm excited to actually because now that my semester is coming to a close, I'll actually get a chance to fucking relax again.
Right, yeah.
Shit.
Yeah. You know, it'll I think it'll be a good thing when Doctor Who finally closes its chapter for a little bit again,
Yeah. Yeah.
because it's one of those shows that needs it. And I start to wonder, because you think about these shows like Supernatural and Doctor Who that have been going on for so long, and you just know somewhere down the line we're gonna see a reboot or a remake of some kind, and that's a scary thing. We're kind of living through what like original trilogy fans are had to go through when the prequels got made. There's
hmm
going to be a time in our life where we have to go through that ourselves, and that's going to be a strange feeling.
I guess it will be. I'm not sure how much they'll actually be able to like reboot. I don't know if we have a lot of original content now, anyways.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong.
But it'll be. I know now they're probably gonna take something like from a childhood or some shit. Like they're gonna make fucking Timmy Turner the fairies
I
strike back or some
saw
shit.
where someone had animated what they thought Ed, Ed and Eddie could look like if it was rebooted for kids today, and it
hmm
made me want to throw up.
I think I saw that, but I think I blocked it from my mind, so I'm gonna
Yeah,
look it up again.
I mean, the luckily the show's creator has come out and been like, we're not doing any more Ed, Ed and Eddie. Like we ended it how we wanted. We're not doing it anymore.
Characters. Uh, Actually, you heard about the how they're doing the Animaniacs reboot? Oh my god, I'm just found it. Oh my
Yeah.
god, it looks fucking terrible.
The thing with the Animaniacs reboot that I have a little more respect for is the original voice actors are back. and I want to believe that the original creators are the ones doing it for Hulu. So it doesn't feel like it's as much of a like a reboot or a remake if they're treating it like it's just an extension, because even in all the trailers it's like the Animaniacs are like with the classic voices just being like, yeah, we're back because we're shills who accepted this huge check from Hulu. And it's like, okay, this is what the Animaniacs are. They're fourth wall breaking cartoon characters, and we get the return of Pinky and the Brain in
Yeah,
that
that's
show
always
as
nice.
well, with the same voice actors back. I mean, there you take. I guess I was about to make an argument that I would have immediately have lost because Teen Titans and Teen Titans Go have the same voice actors.
Yeah.
And so I'm just going to retract my statement
Okay.
and yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's probably for the best. Teen Titans Go will always be just a shining example of just how
Why you should leave our good God-given TV shows alone.
honestly, like Jesus, it still makes me sad. It makes it even worse that it's a success. It's like
Right.
it's one of those things where like it's bad and everyone else is just so retarded that it
Why
just
why are kids so dumb in like today's standards? Because we grew up with smart cartoons like Codename Kids Next Door, the classic SpongeBob, classic Fairly Odd Parents. We had the Powerpuff Girls, uh, Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. All of these were smart shows, and sure, they still had these important aspects of kids' humor that I think is relatable to all kids of all generations. But you didn't have to be like Uncle Grandpa levels of stupid to
yeah.
get us to laugh and to enjoy it. I think the last like really good holdout from our era was like, even though I didn't enjoy it as much at the time, I've come to respect it a lot, is The Amazing World of Gumball.
That was a fucking 10 out of 10. I loved that show. All right, 8 out of 10. You got me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's no Chowder,
Chowder was
but
great. It was fun. I think at least it had self-respect, unlike a
right.
lot of these shows now.
I think we're probably getting close to a time where we should call the podcast here, but there's one more show I feel like I have to talk about before we close it out here, as we're passing probably 10 minutes past the hour mark now. But what went through Cartoon Network's executives' minds when they greenlit The Misadventures of Flapjack?
I don't know exactly. It was certainly a weird choice. Well, because did they? No, Nick did Invader Zim, but I guess it was one of those things where I think maybe they wanted their own Invader Zim. Maybe that's how they thought. Because Invader Zim's like the closest thing I can relate to with
Because
Misadventures of Flapjack.
I saw something the other day, and I'm gonna read these off to you now. But the people who worked on The Misadventures of Flapjack went on to make the following shows. J.G. Quintel made regular show and is doing a show called Close Enough now for HBO Max. But he was one of the important figures for The Misadventures of Flapjack. Pendleton Ward, who did Adventure Time and is now doing the Midnight Gospel. Also, Alex Hirsch for Gravity Falls.
God damn.
Yeah, and also Rebecca Sugar for Steven Universe.
Ah, well, okay. Then now we know why it was shit.
They
She tainted it.
listen. I think there was a moment in time where we were all like, "Wow, Steven Universe is really good," and then
Yeah, it had potential.
yeah,
Then it just got shit.
you know.
It went to shit.
But it's crazy to think that a show that it was so strange and should not have been seen by anyone Wall.
Yeah, it was an odd time. It was an odd time.
Well, it was. I think what makes it even worse is in my mind, it's the last cartoon I can think of watching on Cartoon Network before they switched over to like the Cartoon Network Live for like a year or two.
Oh yeah, was that the scene real?
Yeah, because that's when we got Destroy Build Destroy and Dude What Would
Yeah,
Happen.
I actually kind of like those two shows.
Yeah. They had some sketch comedy show too, but I wasn't a big fan of that one.
Yeah, and they had a paranormal show that only lasted like one episode.
I was gonna say I only remember one episode of that show. So
Yeah, and then I think they had another show. I remember a lot of C and real shows for
they
some
did
reason.
they did Hole in the Wall. They had that.
They did Hole in the Wall. They also did this serious show where it was these kids who were stuck in like this campus place. I think they were trying to do a whole mystery thing with it. And then
Hmm.
I think there was another show where this kid traveled the world with his dad or some shit when he was younger, and because of that, he was basically Ultra Chad Indiana Jones, but like as a fucking high schooler. And
Right.
because of that, he could do insane shit. Like he could fucking fake his own death. He could. Remember, he slowed down his heart rate to like a fucking. They thought he was dead, but really, he was just fucking with them. He came back to
Nice.
life.
That's how you do it. You know, honestly, I would still watch Destroy Build Destroy.
Oh,
If that was
totally.
still a
I'd
show
watch.
right now, you know.
Totally. That was fun. I'd watch Dude What Would Happen.
Yeah, I would too. Because that's like fun Mythbusters. And not to say Mythbusters isn't fun, but like,
It's basically just MythBusters for kids.
yeah, well, dude, what would happen was like, we're gonna make a hot tub car. And it's like, damn straight they made a hot tub car.
That was their first episode.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
I'm trying to think. They did one about between a rock and a hard place. I remember that one.
I think I remember though a lot of their sketches or a lot of their episodes kind of boil down to like similar things eventually.
Yeah. Well, you know when you're looking for things that haven't been done before, because of the existence of Mythbusters, there's not really much on the table for a show like that.
Well, it's like it was like a balancing act. You want to make it really cool, but you also have to make it something that like, younger people would be. You need to do it to where it's kind of like MythBusters where you like have to build some shit and do some like fucking preparations or whatever, but then you also
Right.
can't make it too nerdy because younger kids aren't going to really
You're
be
gonna
that
lose them.
interested. Yeah.
Yeah.
So eventually all of them just became something like I think they just zip lined a lot or some shit.
Right. Well, seeing real was a crazy experiment, but I'm happy it ended. You know.
Yeah, I do have some good memories about those shows though.
Yeah, I just remember thinking, why am I not seeing cartoons on Cartoon Network? Oh, that's why. Um, but before we end off here, Evan, do you have a recommendation of the week for our friends here?
Uh, but I'm gonna recommend that you give your recommendation first.
Oh, me?
Yeah,
Oh
but that's
my
a shock.
God.
Weren't expecting
Um,
that.
yeah, wow. You know, I don't know how to accept this award. So I think I'm just gonna defer it back to you,
Well, that's so gracious of you, but I gave you a gift, and
and I can't return it. The no
no ref,
return policy.
no refunds. Sorry, we don't do that here.
Um, what do I want to recommend? I see. I hadn't thought about it this week.
Why the fuck
So
did you even bring it up?
because we do it every week
I'm
now.
not gonna bring it up.
Okay, Evan. You know what, Mister Cool Guy out here doesn't want. I'm just making little fun things out here. Okay, see how it is. I'm gonna
Now to go ahead.
recommend. I'm
What's
gonna
your
recommend
recommendation?
everyone watches classic Doctor Who because that
Yeah,
is
it's a
it's
good one.
a good time.
I'm gonna recommend that everyone goes watch the CW Batwoman series. They're coming out with a new season, and they're getting
And a
rid of
new Batwoman.
new Batwoman. She's
So
black now, and with an afro. So
yeah,
check that
and
shit out. Fellas.
she'll be taking down crime. one
Hell
step
yeah.
at a time, you know?
Taking on crime and white supremacists.
Hey, there we go. And that's a good way to end off the podcast.
Yep.
See you next week, kids.
Later.